The original cast is still around, but Peppa's world now belongs to babies who dig tunnels, fix rooftops, and possibly control the media. Stay close. Your golden nugget of wisdom is buried in here somewhere, and it's worth finding. First, Evie Pig is basically royalty, and no one's saying it out loud. Instead of a quiet welcome at home, her birth was announced by a royal town crier. Yes, the kind who rings a bell and wears a red coat. She came into the world at the same fancy London hospital where real princes and princesses are born. Even her family crest looks suspiciously royal. A duck, a dinosaur, a teddy bear, and a puddle. No one explained any of it. No one asked questions. But when a cartoon pig gets this kind of treatment, you start to wonder, who is this piglet really? And why does everything feel so official? 2. Alexander Pig is built for noise, not naps. Alexander isn't like the other babies on the show. While most kids fall asleep to lullabies, he needs a trumpet and a vacuum cleaner blasting at the same time. His parents act like it's totally fine, but let's be honest, it's bizarre. No one's sleeping through that kind of chaos unless they're built different. This isn't just about weird bedtime habits either. It feels like Alexander is preparing for something louder. George has always been into dinosaurs, and now his cousin might be turning that obsession into a full-blown music act. If this ends with a toddler-sized metal band called Dino Rock, no one should be surprised. The signs have been there since nap time. 3. Robbie Rabbit is definitely up to something. Robbie Rabbit is not your average bunny. His grandpa has sailed boats, launched rockets, and probably invented 5 things by accident. His dad jumps out of planes for fun and teaches others to do the same. So when Robbie starts talking about skydiving before he can spell it, no one blinks. But maybe they should. This is a kid who builds weird machines for fun and casually sends messages in bottles like he's warning future civilizations. If anyone's going to invent time travel using leftover carrot peels in a colander, it's Robbie. And if he ends up skydiving onto the moon by the time he hits 2nd grade, don't ask how. Just nod like that's completely normal. 4. Carol Cow is always watching. Carol Cow hasn't even been born yet, but she's already part of the story. Her mother is always popping up in the background, on school trips, family vacations, even royal visits. It looks random, but it's not. Carol is going to grow up with cameras in her face and a clipboard in hand. She's not just any calf. She's the one quietly turning every moment of the pig family's life into entertainment. It doesn't matter where they go, she'll be nearby, pretending not to look. It's not clear who asked for this, but it's happening. The pig family isn't just famous anymore, they're being followed. 5. Bruno Bull might be a bigger problem than his dad's tools. Bruno Bull hasn't even shown up in the show yet, but somehow he's already causing trouble. According to what we know, he's going to be the son of Mr. Bull, which sounds fine, until you realize Bruno might be better at his dad's job than Mr. Bull himself. One day at school, the roof gets fixed by a kid using alphabet blocks, and it works. No leaks, no cracks, no endless repairs. For once, things stay fixed. And just like that, Mr. Bull's never-ending construction business starts falling apart. The poor guy's biggest threat might be a toddler who still naps after lunch and builds better than anyone with a license. And now for your golden nugget of wisdom from Peppa Pig. Sometimes being helpful means stepping back. Not every job needs fixing if it's working fine, and not every problem is yours to solve. Knowing when to help and when to listen can be more powerful than jumping in with a hammer. What do you think? Have you ever tried to help only to find out it made things worse? Let's talk about it in the comments. Let's go back now. There's a lot more chaos waiting. 6. Ron Rabbit is basically running the town in a diaper. Ron Rabbit isn't even old enough to walk, but that hasn't stopped him from becoming a full-time sidekick to the busiest rabbit in the world. Miss Rabbit has more jobs than anyone can count, and when Ron shows up, she doesn't slow down for a second. She just straps him on and keeps working, piloting helicopters, selling ice cream, and possibly filing tax reports between bottle feeds. Ron is not just along for the ride. He's in the middle of everything, watching how the entire town runs, learning fast, and occasionally throwing a rattle at important buttons. At this rate, he's going to own half the town before he gets his first tooth. 7. John Wildboar turns playground, crushes into full drama. John Wildboar is about to stomp into class, and nothing will stay calm after that. His family of wild boars just moved to town, which means the first non-domestic pig now shares lunch tables with Peppa. Pedro Pony has always thought Peppa liked him, but John never got the memo. He jumps in puddles harder, tells louder jokes, and brags about finding truffles behind the school shed. Pedro hates every second of it, and even Susie Sheep keeps score from the swings. A single muddy splash could start the greatest duel this playground has seen since George fought the hose. Who wins Peppa's attention is anyone's guess, but someone's new shoes will not survive. 8. Dan Duck breaks every rule the show pretended to follow. Dan Duck isn't part of the show yet, but his arrival changes everything. Up until now, Peppa's world has only featured mammals. Rabbits, ponies, pigs, you know the routine. But Dan isn't here to follow the pattern. He comes from a long line of sailors, which probably explains why he shows up knowing how to steer boats, dive underwater, and spot treasure before anyone else can blink. His feathers don't match the usual crowd, and his feet are built for paddling, not puddle jumping. It's almost like the show tried to keep his kind out, until now. Once Dan joins, don't expect calm waters. Ducks don't tiptoe, they waddle in and take over the map. 9. Leo Chameleon can't hide what he's feeling, even when he tries. Leo Chameleon isn't in the show yet, but the idea of him already feels too real. He's expected to be the first cold-blooded classmate, which means Peppa's school is finally expanding past the warm and furry. Leo stands out without saying much, mostly because he can't help it. His skin changes color depending on how he feels, whether he's embarrassed, excited, nervous, or just annoyed that someone took his seat. He blends into walls during games, vanishes during story time, and gives himself away with one emotional shift. No one knows who his parents are or where he came from, but when Leo shows up, every awkward moment is going to be fully visible, in full color. 10. Peggy Pig brings glitter, drama, and an American accent. Peggy Pig hasn't stepped foot in Peppa's town yet, but she's already making waves. She's the daughter of Auntie Dottie, who lives somewhere in the United States, but not New York, California, or Texas. That much has been confirmed. Peggy is expected to show up in a sparkly dress, probably talking about trends no one else understands. She isn't just a cousin from abroad, she's a walking culture shock. Her style is loud, her energy is louder, and she's about to make Peppa's small-town world feel seriously outdated. There's no telling how the British kids will react to her, but one thing's clear. Wherever Peggy goes, glitter follows, and probably a matching handbag. 11th. Rose Rabbit isn't playing. She's training for something. Rose Rabbit is expected to be Rebecca and Richard's younger sister, but calling her just the little one doesn't cut it. This rabbit moves like she's racing someone we can't see. She runs through classrooms, bounces off furniture, and digs faster than anyone can stop her. The tunnels she leaves behind aren't just holes, they look like blueprints. At this point, it's fair to wonder if she's building a secret escape route under the town. Maybe she's just energetic. Or maybe, like the rest of her strange family, she knows something the others don't. Evie might be royalty, but if things go sideways, she'll need someone fast. And Rose already has an exit plan halfway to the palace. 12. Sarah Sheep will stir fresh storms. Sarah Sheep is Susie's younger cousin, and the family resemblance goes far beyond a shared surname. She already copies Susie's confident grin, yet she aims it straight at Evie, not Peppa. That switch changes every classroom current. Evie finally meets someone who talks as fast as she does, while Peppa watches from the side and counts the seconds until trouble starts. Sarah loves the spotlight and never backs down from a debate, even when the topic is the color of the sky. Imagine every old Peppa Susie birthday spat rewritten with glitter, louder music, and twice the invitations. The next best friend breakup cake has probably been ordered, and the argument that spoils it hasn't even begun. 13th. Evie Pig was designed to stand out. From the moment Evie appeared, something looked different, and it wasn't just her size. Her cheeks aren't circles like Peppa and George's, they're shaped like tiny hearts. Her bow is bright yellow and always perfectly in place. Even her bib carries a little duck, which quietly replaces Peppa's teddy bear and George's dinosaur as the family's new symbol. These details aren't random. They're part of a bigger shift. Evie doesn't just join the family. She rewrites its entire look. Every color, shape, and symbol around her feels carefully planned, like she's not just a baby sister, but a whole new brand. If you thought this piglet would blend in, the bow says otherwise. 14th, Evie Pig is already set to steal the spotlight. Evie hasn't even said her first word, but people are already guessing what it will be. Some say Peppa, others think it'll be Panda, since there's a rumor her first toy will be a fluffy black and white bear. Either way, it won't be quiet. And if her zodiac sign is anything to go by, it definitely won't stop there. Evie was born a Taurus, which means two things. She'll be sweet most of the time and impossible to deal with when she's hungry. Her meals might cost more than Peppa's birthday parties, and Daddy Pig's grocery bill is not ready. If this baby says pasta before mummy, no one should be surprised. And just like that, we've unpacked the strangest and most surprising twists in the next-gen Peppa Pig saga. The piggy world is changing fast. Are these new characters upgrades? Or is this just Peppa Pig trying too hard? Hit that like button and tell us in the comments.